Hey y'all, I'm Physics Mathman, and this week we'll cover Rotundra, the Necrophos' abilities, role, and item choices. The ultimate self-sustaining hero, Necrophos is a force to be reckoned with. With a swing of his scythe, he can set an enemy hero massively behind, or even seal the match. So let's go ahead and discuss his skills. Death Pulse is a simple ability that sends a slew of slow-moving projectiles which heals all friendlies and damages all enemies in a small AoE around Necrophos. If you get the small skull seeking on you, sorry, but you cannot just join it in any case. His second ability, Heartstopper Aura, is a passive which simply removes a flat percentage of health from your opponents per second, if they are within the 1200 range of Necrophos. This spell affects enemies, neutrals, and even ancients. The debuff counts as a negative regeneration, which means that it damages while ignoring all common interactions. For example, it won't cancel clarities, or it won't pop refraction shells on Templar Assassin. His third skill, Sadist, is what allows Necro to farm consistently. For every individual unit that Necro kills, he receives a short boost of health and mana regen. This includes denied friendly creeps and even catapults, but ignores illusions and stuff like Clockwork Cogs or Undying's Tombstone. Killing a hero is equivalent to 10 regular units, resulting in a Regeneration Rune-esque effect. Finally, his ultimate, Reaper's Scythe, is what makes this hero relevant, and so I'll spend some extra time on it. Upon cast, the move locks an enemy for 1.5 seconds and swings a giant ghostly sickle. During this 1.5 second delay, the affected unit can and should be damaged as much as possible. Your foe will then take a calculated amount of damage, based strictly upon how much health they are missing at the time the sickle hits. If this ability proves to be fatal, the kill credit will always be given to Necrophos, and an extra 30 seconds will be added to the unfortunate victim's respawn timer. Additionally, if a Ganem Scepter is obtained, buyback will be disabled for them as well. Okay, so first a quick digression on Ultimate Scepters, and then a math lesson on Reaper Scythe. So, a Ganem refers to the antagonist of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So how exactly do you pronounce that word? Poking around the internet for a bit, I came to conclude that nobody really knows. They just speculate. However, the general consensus appears to be a Ganem's Scepter. Next, so Reaper's Scythe is an optimization problem, because if the target is at full health, you do no damage, and if the target is at 1 health, you do practically no damage, besides that 1 health. So there is a certain amount of health where you kill your opponent but also get the most damage out of the ability. To find this, consider a hero with a health capacity C who is currently sitting at X health. The sickle will do damage based upon how much health they are missing, so that's C minus X. And then you multiply this by rho R, where rho is the hero's magic resist, and R is the damage per amount of health missing that is defined by the Reaper Scythe. So it's actually really simple. We just want to know when their current health, X, minus the damage that the sickle does, which is rho R times the quantity C minus X, exactly equals 0. And that occurs when X equals their total health capacity times some proportion that is given here. Here's a quick table I made which tells you when you can throw the optimal death blow for several situations. Your skill build on Necro is going to be pretty static. You want to max Death Pulse first, and Sadist second. You also want to skill 1 level of Heartstopper if it makes sense for your lane. Say you are in lane against a high base health hero. Grab your ultimate whenever possible. This guide will cover a farming semi-carry Necrophos. In the past, I've seen both support and even ancient jungling Necro, but to be honest, it doesn't work out very well against competent Dota players. Your goal will be to farm as much as possible. The best way to do so is to constantly clear waves and push early when Death Pulse and Sadist start to become leveled. work toward either small efficient items like Basilius and Treads, or go for something like a Midas to quickly increase your levels. You're going to have to play passive mostly at this point because you are frail, so keep your map awareness up. If possible, try to kill with Reaper Scythe at level 6, as this will significantly hurt the enemy's progress. The level 1 Scythe does very little damage, however, so you will need some help from an ally. Mid-game begins when Necro obtains his first big item. This can be a variety of choices depending on your goals. Dagon for assassination of squishies, a Ganem Scepter for tanking / frequent Reaper kills, Blink Dagger for high mobility games, or Mech for steady sieges. Try to avoid going back to base as much as possible, and instead, rely on Sadist to keep you full of mana and health. It is imperative to spam your Death Pulse during teamfights, and even more imperative to use your ultimate in every fight. This is not only because it's so detrimental to your opponents, but because it guarantees you a kill, and therefore surges you with a non-cancelable in-fight regeneration rune. Late game Necro is not the hardest of carries, but is a formidable semi-carry which can decide games with a single move. At this point you will be appreciably tanky. In battles, be a healing annoyance, and make sure to hang out as much as possible simply for your aura. But more than anything, having an ultimate scepter at level 16, you can at any moment delete the enemy farmer from the game, disabling their buyback and securing more than enough time to take a barracks. I'm going to go over a standard Necro game and talk about my item choices. I start with Tangos and a Null Talisman to ease last hitting. Not missing a last hit, I begin to work towards smaller items, Treads, and eventually Basilius. I push the wave hard and this catches out Marana. Obtaining my Basilius, I turn it on and attempt to finish the tower off very early. Notice I am maintaining full health and near full mana because I specifically aim to deny and last hit all creeps. The enemy tries to respawn and save their tower, but we only get to see the sustaining power of Necro. Bounty Hunter pays dearly by dying to my ultimate, and Lion overextends, underestimating the power of my heal spam. Seeing Marana, Bounty Hunter, and Clinks on the enemy team, I decide the item of choice is Blink Dagger for chase downs and extra mobility. I surprise them with it during this pivotal mid-game fight and grab a triple kill. We are dominating, and I quickly obtain my ult stick. Without letting up any pressure, since I am the hardest carry on our team, and we don't want to stall for Spectre's items, I use it to sneak a kill on her, which buys time for 2 sets of racks. The opposition simply concedes, as we punished their more greedy lineup when we needed to. I finish with a decent score, and half a Heart of Tarrasque completed. Time to wrap up with 3 Necro takeaways. Number 1. Try to really set an enemy hero back by killing them with your ultimate at level 6. Doing so puts you at a big advantage, and almost always results in a tier 1 tower. Number 2. Make sure to always use your scythe in battle, not just for the extra spawn time, but because it also gives you an in-battle mini regen rune. Number 3. In the late game, aim to sickle the hard carry, disabling his buyback. This will net you a barracks almost always. Necrophos is a scary semi-carry, who brings both strong push and a constant threat of hero deletion, which can often mean the turning point of any match. And that's how you play Necrophos. Cheers, and to your health. I've had a lot of fun meeting and playing pub games with some of you recently. If you want in on the fun, follow me on Twitter or join the game chat room Physics Mathman Dirty Earth Spirit Picker. In any case, see you next week.